I mean, it's hard to know what we're talking about this week because so much stuff has happened that all this stuff gets forgotten. But in the Oval Office this week, President Trump announced the newest addition to his personal branding empire, Trump RX. It's a Trump-branded United States government website set to launch in 2026 that claims to offer deeply discounted prescription drugs from Pfizer directly to American consumers as part of a multi-pronged deal. Trump's bargaining with the company included the threat of steep tariffs, and Pfizer's now been given a 3-year exemption. Trump says similar deals are in the works with other drug makers, and many of us would be on board with lower drug prices, right? But will buying medications through Trump RX be more like a party with Trump vodka, or the sizzle from Trump steaks, or a degree from Trump University, which wasn't all it was cracked up to be? For one thing, the service that Trump RX will provide, paying cash for medications directly, already exists in the marketplace. Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drugs and Good RX are two examples where you can already find some of the listed drugs for less money. And as Vox notes, quote, for the 90+% of Americans who have health insurance, you're probably already getting a lower price than you'd find on Trump RX for these drugs through your insurance plan. Even if the price is similar or slightly lower on Trump RX, you're better off using your own insurance anyway so that what you are paying counts towards your deductible, end quote. The Wall Street Journal agreed under the heading, will I save money buying from the Trump RX website? The answer in part reads, it depends, but probably not if you're among the 90% of Americans who have health insurance, end quote. The Wall Street Journal's editorial board, which is not the most progressive bunch, was more scathing. Quote, Trump RX looks like political branding exercise designed to show voters that Mr. Trump is reducing the cost of drugs. But wait until the next Democratic president takes this idea and expands it, end quote. I, for one, am on the side of those who think that it should be expanded. The board also took issue with the White House's deal-making with Pfizer, saying this is a form of political extortion. But politics and optics are the point, and that was evident at the news conference announcing Trump RX when President Trump couldn't help but take pot shots at another president's signature health care program.
Obamacare is a failure. Obamacare is not good. It's there, but relative to other health care programs, it's in the lower 20%. It's not good.
Obamacare, I can't quit you. But unlike Trump RX, the Obamacare website is actually called healthcare.gov. It was set up under the Affordable Care Act. The name Obamacare for the legislation was a pejorative. It was actually popularized by Republicans. It was intended as a smear against Obama. President Obama and his team eventually decided to embrace the name.
The Affordable Care Act is working. And so when when folks go around saying, oh, the Obamacare, that's right, I care. I don't know about you, but I care. This is the right thing to do.
Joining me now is Norm Eisen. He's the co-founder of The Contrarian. He's the executive chairman of the State Democracy Defender Fund and a senior fellow of governance studies at the Brookings Institution. I don't know whether Norm knows anything about the pricing of prescription drugs, but I wanted to talk to you, Norm, because I think you know a thing or two about the grift, right? I mean, this is whether or not this site's going to work or it's a good idea or it's a bad idea. It's called Trump RX. It's a U.S. government thing. Why on earth is the president's name on this?
This is another example of President Trump deceiving and distracting the American people, Ollie. And as you pointed out, analysts across the political spectrum say there's no there there. At least you got a steak with Trump steaks. Now, this is much more like Trump University, where tens of millions of dollars were paid out because it didn't do what it promised to do. And consider that if you're on health insurance, which thanks to Obamacare, more than 90% of Americans are, you talked about that. You're already getting lower prices. If you sign up for one of those free programs, you're getting equal or lower prices. So it's pure marketing, but there's a danger. It's not just the deceit, the distraction. At the same time, this is why the government is shut down. Donald Trump and his allies are tearing away that Obamacare, tearing away that government health care from tens of millions of Americans, or making them pay more. And that is why Democrats will not vote to perpetuate that. So let's talk about the real health care crisis, not this phony.
That's exactly right. You're going to see 20+ million people see their insurance premiums more than double. So what a great week to drop your little Trump RX idea, which, by the way, was about a president pressuring a private company, Pfizer, into a deal under the threat of tariffs. And then, notwithstanding the fact that he sticks his name on it. But what a remarkable distraction from the fact that you're actually taking health care coverage away, or making it so unaffordable that it's de facto taking it away from people.
The good news is the American people are not fooled by this, because in poll after poll, they understand that this government shutdown fight is about preserving their health care. The Democrats should not provide votes to tear health care away or make it more expensive. Some people who are watching this, Ollie, will have to pay tens of thousands of dollars more if they want to keep that good health care that gets them real prescription drug price breaks. No, that's not right. So Trump RX isn't fooling, and it's shown in the polls. People know what it's about, and they want the Democrats to keep fighting for their health care.
So you're an ethics expert. I sort of joked at some point about this and said, well, how long before Donald Trump's face is on the money? But there are actually people who are proposing that is actually the case. Like, at some point, when do we realize the joke's on us, right? That this stuff, it's sort of funny for a minute, but it isn't. That it's a government website that Donald Trump is putting his name on. It's Mount Rushmore. It's whatever. But it's at some point, this can't be where we go. We're not a cult of personality.
Well, the good news is, in my capacity, I'm talking to you today as the executive chair of the Democracy Defenders Fund. You know who else is not falling for it besides the American people? The courts are not falling for it. Because Donald Trump, in many of these ploys, like trying to put the National Guard into Portland when there's no emergency on the ground, these are deadly serious moves he's making, and the courts are shutting him down. Over 200 times they've stopped him. Putting his picture on that money would also be illegal. That, again, is trying to own the news cycle, but he's not allowed to break the law, and the courts are stopping him. At the Democracy Defenders Fund alone, we have over 150 legal matters and cases, and we've won landmark victory after victory, stopping Donald Trump from tearing up our Constitution and laws and hurting the American people. That's the true cost of corruption. It hurts the American people when he does these things. Tariffs is a good example. Prices are soaring. People get that, and the courts get that.
You filed a temporary restraining order with other organizations to challenge Donald Trump's threat to fire federal workers during the shutdown because you say that's illegal.
It's against the law, and it's against human decency. Overnight, we've gone to court with the AFGE and AFSCME and other wonderful allies, the two leading labor unions for government workers, to stop Donald Trump from using the shutdown as an excuse to break the law and fire thousands of American workers. Congress has said very clearly, workers are either accepted from the shutdown if they're essential, they have to work, or they're temporarily put on hold. That's the legal structure. He says he wants to fire the workers, and not only that, he says he wants to target Democrats. Come on, Ollie, that's against the law. And like those other cases where we've enjoyed success with in court, we're part of a big coalition. It's breaking news. We're going to stop this, too. We're rushing to court.